So Rowdy's lead. Number 4 out on the inside. That is Debbie, and number 16 is his teammate Gianola. And here comes Valman and Gracini. So it's turning into a 7-rider battle. Rowdy's lead. Then it's Casanova, number 15. Behind him, number 16, Gianola. Number 4, Debbia. And between Debbia and Gianola is Alessandro Gamini. Look at him tucked in there. Here comes Martinez out of the slipstream. Casanova looking for the inside line. Don't think he'll bother as they go into the stadium this time. But he may wait to see if Rowdy's makes the same mistake as he did at the Sachs curves. And there goes Casanova. Classic overtaking manoeuvre. Rowdy's just about to lob the bike over on his side. And suddenly there was Casanova. And Bruno Casanova, a very experienced young rider, just 27 years of age still. Casanova, but he's been around a long time, both at European Championship level and in Grand Prix. Casanova takes the lead from Rowdy's, and Gianola wants to fly to the action too. So the Aprilia, the Scott Aprilia, the only one who made the front row of the grid, leads. Ooh, and a cloud of dust. Somebody went down there in a big way. One of the leaders has gone missing. Well, a big cloud of dust. I don't see who it has that's gone. Oh, there it goes down. Ooh, good. Bennett, that was quite a crash. Ryder tippling over and over and over. Well, quite a nasty looking tumble. And that is, I think, one of... that's Ueda. Well, Nobi Ueda, very likeable Japanese rider, qualified 10th place. And here comes the doctor on the scene. Very good first aid facilities here at Hockenheim. They've had lots of races, lots of experience, and Ueda in very good hands, but a nasty looking fall. And as we come back to the action, Bruno Casanova has lost the lead. And he's lost several places as well, because he's down in 4th place there. So it's Rowdy's, then Gianola, then Alessandro Gramini. And Gianola drifts wide on that long, sweeping right-hand corner. Some very fast corners here. And riders will tell you that it's how you go around the long, quick corners. Look at them bunching up here, swapping and changing all over the place. Rowdy's still with the advantage through the second chicane. Rowdy's, Gianola, then Casanova up to 3rd now, then Gramini, then Debbia, then Valtman, then Cristini. Fastest lap to Gianola, 2:22.87, and that is just outside the official lap record set last year by Caparossi. Gianola takes the lead. Isio Gianola slots on the inside of Dirk Rowdy's as they go into the stadium. Now, what's going to happen to the Sachs curve? Here's Gracini trying to go around the outside, and he does. He's been around a long time as well, Fausto Gracini. No other changes there. Still Gianola, then Rowdy's, then Casanova, then Gramini, then Valman, then Debbia, then Fausto Gracini pushed back a place or two, and one of the wild card entries, that's number 67, Stefan Curtis. They're allowed 2 wild-card entries to please the local organisers and the local crowd. And Curtis, number 67, on the leaderboard at the moment, looking for points. Out in front, Gianola. Tucked in behind is Rowdy's, who looks over his shoulder to see where the rest are. And here comes Debbia, number 4, out of the slipstream. He reckons he's got the pace on his motorcycle, and there goes Rowdy's. He's got a quick bike too. Gianola tries to head him off at the pass, didn't work. And Rowdy's takes the lead then from Isio Gianola. Casanova still going well on the Aprilia. Gramini up there on his Aprilia into the first of the chicanes. Rowdy's, Gianola, Casanova, Valtman moving up another place. Valtman, to the delight of the German crowd, up into 4th place, could be 3rd. Levels with Casanova as he got the pace. Woof, absolutely touching there. They made contact. And there goes Gramini the long way round, but it may be quicker in the long term. 3 abreast they come. And I think Casanova is going to hang on to 3rd place. There goes Gianola round the outside. That's brave. Very brave, very quick, and it looks very effective. And there comes Valman too. No, he had to pull back into the slipstream. And Gianola on the right of the picture has to pull back behind Rowdy's, and they really all fancy their chances. And Casanova still hangs on to 3rd place after all that. There's Valtman, Ralph Valtman, the German, fastest in practice, the championship leader. And this circuit, a long, quick circuit, 4.218 miles, that's 6.788 kilometres. And Rowdy's under pressure from Gianola, who's got the inside line, and Rowdy's never the bravest of men. No disrespect to him, he's got a quick motorcycle, he doesn't need to take any chances. Casanova again, lets off the brakes, through on the inside, up into second place. He's done that to Rowdy's before, a little later into the corner maybe. Same effect though. And Baldwin again, circuit knowledge, just chops up Debier, dives through on the inside on the right. So Gianola, Casanova, and certainly the danger man is Waldman. He was quickest in practice, but there was so little to choose between it. 2:18.346 for Waldman, 2:18.606 for this man, Gianola, and 2:18.744 for Casanova. So we've got 7 riders in a group. Further back is number 24, that's Oliver Koch, the young German rider, and on the Ditter Plastics machine, and he's trying to get on terms. Still 7 riders in this group, with Rowdy's now back at the helm, and Gianola drops back to 4th. You blink your eye and you're in serious trouble at this game. And suddenly Gramini at the back of the group, the young Italian, 23-year-old Italian, getting back to full fitness after breaking his thigh badly in a road accident. And there goes Falman up to 2nd. And will he slot through on the inside and take the lead from Rowdy's? So Germans 1st and 2nd, and that will please a big crowd here at Hockenheim. Not a sellout, I would point out, and perhaps that's not really surprising. The seats here, or the admission price here, to get in the stadium area, the grandstands, approximately £65 for the day. And look at them, 5 abreast across the track there. On the outside, Gianola, number 16, 2 is Cressini, 3 is Baldwin, 8 is Rowdy's, and as they sort themselves out for this chicane, it's Rowdy's, Baldwin, Casanova. And really tremendous stuff, 125cc rating at its very, very best. And here comes Gianola. He knows he has the bike because it's quick enough to run with the leaders. Rowdy's still with the advantage. Waldman may look to go around the outside, just crosses the line that Casanova wanted to take. Waldman's on the inside of Rowdy's. Rowdy's lets off the brake. Oh, and almost takes away the front wheel of Ralph Waldman. Waldman, in turn, looks for the chance as Rowdy's goes wide. Couldn't do it then. Well, Rowdy's does have a very quick motorcycle, only qualified 5th. 2.5 seconds, more than 2.5 seconds slower than Waldman. But come the race, he's able to make the pace and run with the front men. So 7 riders out in front, and they're being chased by the following group. It's Dirk Rowdy's who leads Waldman in 2nd place. 5 laps have gone, 10 laps to go. And can Rowdy's hang on to his lead? And here goes Waldman. Join us again after the break.
Above all, our new car has to be roomy.
But also nice and powerful.
And economical, right, darling?
Comfortable.
With room for the whole family.
And still affordable.
Does such a car exist?
The applause from Daihatsu, Japan.
A name here. A story untold. And not for the first time, it writes itself a new chapter in office technology. Suddenly, everything is crystal clear. Because the name is Star. Star, the computer printer.
That we've ever seen. There's the starter's gun, playing 3 to start world record. Play to a new Olympic record if he can keep this pace up for anyone. Final throw for a medal after 22 Olympics. With the barcode scanning system of your Panasonic video recorder, you're always in tune. Panasonic lets you read your pictures.
Panasonic.
And Valmont unable to get the better of the rest, and in fact it was Casanova who emerged from that little group. The best 2, 4, 6, 7 riders still there. Here goes Valmont, and Valmont Honda definitely quicker, it would seem, than the Aprilia of Casanova. And Rowdes has got a quick bite too. He winds up the wick and regains second place. Valmont, you see suspension working hard on the Zwaffing Honda. Suspension has been a problem for most of these 125 guys all season. The Aprilia's probably coming out of it better than the Hondas. And here they go again. Debbia goes wide. Gianola, it's a marvel. They don't just click into each other. Rowdes in front then. Waldmann behind him. The German riders, first and second. 25-year-old Waldmann in second place and heading the pack. 27-year-old Dirk Rowdes, both on Hondas. And will Waldmann pull out of the slipstream as they go past the pits? And the answer is yes. And as they go in to the stadium, sorry, not past the pits, that's the long back straight from the second chicane into the stadium they come this time. Waldmann, having made his move there on one of the fastest parts of the circuit, gets the lead. And the stadium section in marked contrast to the high-speed sections of this Hockenheim circuit, and those high-speed sections in turn have their own special difficulties. It's very much a skill for these guys to be able to ride full throttle round very high-speed corners. You've got to have a lot of bottle, you've got to have a lot of skill, and the trees that hang over the sections of the circuit round the back, the fast parts of the section, do take the oxygen out of the air, and getting the carburation right on modern racing two-strokes is very difficult here, as Rowdes just blasts past Waldmann. He really has got a quick motorcycle. Rowdes didn't really have to bother about the slipstream effect to pull out and pass his fellow countrymen. And it's Debbia who goes through to third place. Teammate Gianola is behind him, then Casanova, then Grassini, and going very wide to the right of your screen, number 39, Alessandro Gramini, who achieved absolutely nothing by that manoeuvre. In fact, probably lost a little bit of the toe. But look at them bob and break out of the slipstream every time they've gone round a quick corner, and they've got a chance to make a break. Here they come. They'll break formation now. This is the 125 Grand Prix high-speed formation team. Debbia goes wide, and it takes him through to the lead. Here comes Gianola, number 16. Debbia's going to lead, and it's Waldmann in second place. Gianola tried to go with him, but he's third. Casanova still well up there. And the group behind, there's about 5 or 6 of them involved in their particular little battle as well. A 5-rider group, I think that is, that's chasing behind. And Gramini, number 39, picks up a place, perhaps 2. He may have dived inside Grassini. But it's Waldmann now who takes up the running from Debbia. And Waldmann is quick in this infield section. As we say, a big crowd here, but not a sellout. Grandstand seat not taken. Waldmann, Debbia, Casanova, Rowdes, Gramini. Well, it looks to me as if none of the front men, none of these 7 are able to pull away from their rivals, and that means we're in for the prospects of a grandstand last lap, do or die effort, and it could be any one of these 7 men who could win. I don't think anyone is going to catch them. 8 more laps to go to the finish. Here goes Debbia, goes wide. Waldmann sees him, moves over, tucks in behind him. Then it's Casanova, but he loses third place to Rowdes. Down to the first chicane. And really, these 7 riders giving absolutely everything. Debbia, then Waldman behind. Then Casanova. Then Rowdies, there's Grassini. Gramini going wide. And side by side, Debbia and Waldman. Now, how quick is Debbia's bike? Well, not quite quick enough, it seems. But there's Rowdies. We know he's got a quick motorcycle. And Casanova forced wide by Rowdies. He wanted to try and hang on to 3rd place. Couldn't do it, but he tucks in behind Rowdies. And here goes Debbia. Well, 24-year-old Debbia. He really is a trier. He's been moving up the championship table relentlessly throughout this season. 3 of them side by side. Debbia has the advantage. Waldman goes charging through, though. Debbia, once again, leads the pack. So it's Debbia who leads. Then Waldman. Then Casanova. Then Grassini behind Dirk Rowdies. Then Gramini. And Gianola, would you believe it? The man who's won the last 2 Grand Prix. He's 7th. And at the back of this 7-rider battle, Waldman 72 points to the championship chase. He leads the field now, having dipped past Debbia. Gianola is 2nd, Gramini, then Casanova, Grassini, Rowdies, Wakai. Debbia down on 30 points and 20 points for a win, and a 5-point differential between 1st and 2nd place, and that makes a big incentive for anyone to win this race. Still Waldman. And these basically the men who qualified in the first 2 rows of the grid, although Grassini was only 11th fastest. There's number 2, Fausto Grassini, the 32-year-old Italian. Debbia from Waldman, Casanova, but Grassini's up there and he's going quick, and behind him is Rowdies. Rowdies pulls out of the slipstream, goes for the inside line. And Casanova will take 2nd place. Well, you can never fail Bruno Casanova for bravery. Debbia emerges out of that pack, the leader, and here comes Waldman again. Well, they're jockeying not just for the lead and the hope that they can break away from the rest of the pack, but they're now beginning to practice the moves that they feel they may have to make on the last couple of laps, probably the last lap, if they want to win this race. It's Rowdies out in front. Rowdies with a very, very quick motorcycle. The 27-year-old German, a very talented rider. And the 2 Semprucci IDM Hondas go wide. Gianola, who was at the back of the pack, has worked his way through up to 5th. Debbia once again leads. Well, the lead must have changed 20 or 30 times already, and I don't think we're at the halfway stage of the race yet. 7 of them in file, and there goes Rowdies, pulls out of the slipstream. There's that 5-rider group behind. That's still getting fairly desperate, not making much ground up on this battle though, and that's no surprise. Rowdies from Waldman. And Waldman again looking for the inside line, and he just, ooh, dear, and Casanova looking as well. Well, it's a classic overtaking manoeuvre to go for the inside. Rowdies goes wide. Waldman likes the look of it, can't do it because Rowdies shuts the door. Casanova back to 4th place. Debbia is 3rd. Well, Rowdies has used the pace of his motorcycle superbly. Well, brave enough to pull his head and body out of the slipstream. He is behind, and they're all still behind him. And in particular, he will see Ralph Waldman on the Zwafing Honda. Rowdies on the Europa Rowdies Honda leading the pack. There goes the 2 Semprucci IDM Hondas. In fact, the 3 Italians, 4 Italians now on the right of the picture. They sweep back in, and Casanova loses 2 or 3 places. Here goes Waldman, winding up the wick on the Zwafing Honda. And again, we've got 4 riders side by side. Oh, dear. That was Gianola, who went from lane 1 to lane 4. If he'd done that in rush hour traffic anywhere in London, they'd have lynched him. But Gianola gets away with it. Superb stuff. Gianola looking for a hat-trick of Grand Prix wins. 3 of them again. side by side, and Casanova will not be outdone. The Aprilia man hanging on there. There goes Gramini on the inside. Rowdies, Waldman, Gianola back to third. All that effort, all that bravery, all that cheek, just drifting across the bows of the others. And again, they pull out of the slipstream. They have a go to hit the front. Can Waldman get the better of Rowdies? There goes Gianola again. Has to drop back as they go through this chicane, the second one. And Waldman, who's failed to score any points in the last two rounds of the series, needing points desperately in this, the 7th of 13 races this year. 7 riders all together. Rowdies just uses the acceleration of the Honda, just lets off the brakes as well. And Waldman, will he dive through on the inside? No, he's going to go. He thought about going around the outside, and that doesn't happen a lot. Oh, he cut back through beautifully, but not quite good enough to take the lead. And would you believe it? Gianola, no, Casanova it is who's in third place. Bruno Casanova, who's not got the quickest bike out there. Of that there is no doubt. He has to use pure riding ability to stay with the rest. So we've got quite a battle on our hands. The Germans lead. And the Italians are behind in fourth. Dirk Rowd is the German lead. Ralf Waldman is in second place. Then comes Casanova, Gianola, Debbia, Grassini, Gramini. Bruno Casanova, they're a bit like horse racing here if they stewards' inquiries to see whether somebody's being bought or not. Into the chicane they come, like the charge of the light brigade. And how is the pack shuffle this time? Well, it's Rowdies, Debbia, Waldman, Casanova, then Gianola, then Gramini, then Grassini. And you're still going to be a brave man to forecast who is going to win it, because I think almost everybody there has led the race. 5 laps to go to the finish. Well, the charge is definitely on. Debbia, Waldman. Here comes Waldman. Here come the rest. There's Gianola. There's Rowdies. Casanova goes with him. And they get back in single file. It really is remarkable that they don't just cannon into each other and send themselves scattering off the track into the forest. Casanova there. Appears to be just that bit bigger than the others. They'll tucked in nicely behind the fairing, and then you see the big broad shoulders of Bruno Casanova. Still a 7-way battle. Still a good scrap going on behind. There'll be points up for grabs in 8th, 9th and 10th places. Into the stadium they go again. Down into Sachs Curve, and there goes Casanova. He's got one place. Yes, he was just determined not to let Waldman get back in, and he nearly had Rowdies as well. So Casanova goes back into second place. There is Fausto Grassini, number 2. You pay your money and you take your choice on who is going to emerge triumphant in this 125cc scrap. 15 laps round the Hockenheim. That really is a tough task for anybody. But Casanova is looking good. Whether the bike is quick enough remains to be seen. Rowdy's bike is very, very quick. And we know from the past 2 weeks that Gianola and Debbia have got quick motorcycles. Debbia down in 6th place at the moment, though. Here comes Grassini. In fact, Gianola and Debbia look right at the back of this group. And Grassini, who's been, well, not exactly malingering, but he's been at the back of that group, now comes towards the front. And he's got enough experience to duff them all up, that's for sure. Rowdies from Grassini. Then Alessandro Gramini also getting in at the front. Well, it'll be interesting to see those two. Gramini goes through on the Aprilia, the Unlimited Jeans Aprilia. He goes into 2nd place. Can he take the lead? Casanova on the inside, and I think he will take 4th spot. Yes, he does. Just pushes Grassini out. And there we go. Grassini looked for one moment as if he was going to be in with a chance of taking the lead. suddenly he's down in 5th place, and those two other Semprucci IDM on the men, Gianola number 16 and Debbia number 4, they're right back in 6th and 7th spot. It's Dirk Rowdies who leads. Gramini going well. He won't want to take a tumble here. That broken thigh is mending well, but the big smack on the tarmac wouldn't do it any good at all. And they're back into single file. They're going to break formation any time. There goes Gramini. Whoop! Suddenly hit a brick wall. He went out of the slipstream and started to go back. Oh, and he goes for the inside line as they go into the stadium. And Gramini, a nice piece of riding. He failed to take advantage of the slipstream. And there goes Casanova. And round poor old Dirk Rowdies. He won. Oh, dear. Oh, that was big problems for Gianola and Grassini. I think Grassini actually made contact with him. Well, Gianola had to take in a deep gulp of air. That was very close to disaster. And suddenly we have the two Aprilias out in front. Gramini, Alessandro Gramini, the 23-year-old rider from Florence, taking the lead. The Aprilias holding off the Hondas. Can they stay in front? Not far to go now to the checkered flag. Can Gramini, can the Aprilia stay ahead of the Hondas? Join us again after the break and find out.
Technics cares for the Earth's environment. Take our portable CD player. It uses very little energy, so you can enjoy 10 hours of high-quality sound. The Technics portable CD player, the CD player that loves the Earth the most.
At BP, our emphasis on research and testing tends to leave an impression on most visitors.
4th floor aviation fuel research. Sixth floor marine lubricants testing. Seventh floor motorsport fuel testing.
And everything we learn from this research, we put to use in a very practical place. Your local BP station.
Pizza for Ted King, top floor.
Top floor space research.
BP, on the move.
To Hockenheim, and this the 7th round of the 125cc World Championship. A 7-rider battle raging, and we're drawing to the closing stages of this superb scrap. Dirk Rowdies, the German, leads then from fellow countryman Ralf Waldmann, then Bruno Casanova, then Alessandro Gramini, then Fausto Grassini, then Gabriele Debbia, and right a long way back now is Ezio Gianola, but Gianola has won the last 2 Grand Prix, and we cannot rule him out. Rowdies, number 8. Waldmann pulls out of the slipstream, makes the break, can't do it. Grassini goes on the right of your screen. Here's Waldmann again, but Rowdies holds them off. He does have a very quick motorbike. It's Rowdies, then Waldmann, then Bruno Casanova in 3rd place to go through the 2nd of the 2 chicanes. You can see the suspension working overtime. And back into single file. And who's going to break for cover? There goes Gramini, number 39. Debbie is wide. Waldmann looks for the inside. Stays behind his teammate. Casanova slips the Aprilia underneath Grassini. And Rowdies holds off Waldmann. Casanova, having dealt with it, keeps 3rd place. Rowdies goes very wide at that particular point, and I think both Waldmann and Casanova will be well aware of that. Everybody working out their master plan for the final stages in a race that any one of these 7 could win. 2 laps to go to the checkered flag, and it's Rowdies from Waldmann, then Casanova. You can hear the fireworks, this Hockenheim crowd, famous for the bangers. They led off the firework display. Past this lap now to Gianola. That's a new lap record, and Gianola's closed on them. It looked as though he was out of it after that little incident when he touched Grassini in the stadium section, but there goes Gianola. He's worked hard. Rowdies leads. No, he doesn't. Waldmann goes to the front as they go into the chicane. Now can Waldmann make his break? He's just stretching a slight advantage. He was very, very quick going into the chicane, but the others are pegging him back. It's Rowdies, then Casanova, then Grassini. And that, I think, is Gianola, who's made all the right moves. Though he wants it, Debbia. It's the youngster in the Semprucci IDM squad, up to 3rd place, pushing Casanova back to 4th. Rowdies and Waldmann, the 2 Germans, have the advantage. Grassini wants to get up near the front. Jukanova wants to be too far back. They've got about 1.5 laps to go to the checkered flag. Waldmann, the World Championship leader, lies 2nd, but there are 20 points, let's remind you, for the winner. And the difference between 1st and 2nd is a massive 5 points, 20 to win, 15 for 2nd place. And Waldmann thought about coming out of the slipstream. The others do that. And they'll be greeted by more fireworks as they come into the stadium for the penultimate time. Just over 1 lap to go. And this is where the skill and experience will come into play rather more than just bravery. It's Rowdies then who has the advantage over Waldmann. Casanova just pushes Debbia wide. Classic example of experience. And Rowdies looks over his shoulder. It's the last lap. It's now or never. It's muck or nettle. Rowdies, Waldmann, Casanova into the long sweeping right hand of the first corner on the circuit. And Gianola, who's won the last 2 Grand Prix, is 7th at the rear of this group, but anyone could still win. Rowdies trying to shake them out of his slipstream. Waldmann is there, Casanova, Debbia, Grassini, Gramini, and Gianola. And there goes Gianola on the inside, trying to move up some places. And Casanova's going through to 2nd place, got the better of Waldmann. Aprilia, the Scott Aprilia, bouncing all over the place as the suspension bottoms out, and they go hard into the swoops of the chicanes. And there goes Waldmann, the Honda quicker than the Aprilia. There's going to be a lot of bumping and barging and charging as they get into the stadium for the final time. And Casanova is in 3rd place behind the 2 Germans. Debbia drifts wide, Gramini is right with him. Where is Gianola? Surely Gianola will want to try and win his 3rd Grand Prix in a row. Waldmann pulls out of the slipstream. They're almost making contact, bobbing and weaving, and Casanova feels he's being bought. There goes Grassini, and Grassini hits the front. It's Grassini, and Waldmann is chopped up by Bruno Casanova, and Waldmann forced to go on the curb there. Well, superb stuff, and there they go. Grassini trying to shake them out on the slipstream, moving all over the track, doing twice the distance that he could and should do. And here comes Waldmann looking for the inside line, and there goes Casanova. Bruno Casanova hits the front. Can he hold them off on the most difficult section of the circuit? He won't leave them a gap here. He's too wily a character for that. They've got to do something special. It's Casanova from Grassini, and Ralph Waldmann, the championship leader, is back in 3rd place, but he knows Hockenheim. Just 2 corners to go. This one and the next one. The noise rises to a crescendo, and Bruno Casanova is going to win. Over the line he goes. The checkered flag is out, and Bruno Casanova has won an absolutely superb race. A fine win he rode like a hard man. It was gangster stuff, really. And Bruno Casanova battled and bruised his way to a victory. Fausto Grassini was second home. Ralph Waldman got third spot. Debbia was credited with fourth place. Gianola fifth, Rowdy sixth, and Alessandro Gramini finished up at the tail end of that group. Well, what does that do for the championship battle? Well, nice to see Alessandro Gramini. Here they go to the line, and Grassini winding up, closing the gap, but the Aprilia just too quick for the Marlboro Team Scolari Honda. So Waldman still leads, but it's getting very, very close behind. 84 points for Ralph Waldman. There they are, 7 of them. And look at Gramini, he knows he's blown it at the tail end. He's given up, poor old soul. But Casanova fought his way through. So Waldman leads the championship on 84. Casanova has 69. Gianola and Grassini level pegging on 61. So just 15 points between Waldman and Bruno Casanova. Casanova, the 27-year-old Italian from Serbia, delighted, and Grassini very sporting as well. So there we are, confirmation of the result, and look how close it was. Just 0.883 of a second between the first 6 and 1.177 between the first 7. Good ride from Stefan Kurfis, who takes 8th place. Wakai, who's in for a busy ride, poor old soul. He's got 2 rides today because he's taken over the Lucky Strike ride of Wilco Zeelenberg. He finishes in the point. And let's see where the Brits finished. Steve Patrickson was 22nd, Robin Appleyard 23rd. So, a great 125cc race, absolutely superb. And this is the, that's the get-off of Oliver Koch, who was up in the point. Dear, went down exactly the same place as Ueda, and well, smashes into the hay bales, but well protected. So, scenes of jubilation. Then Bruno Casanova still celebrating, and he did well. I mean, he certainly was taking no prisoners on that final lap. You see some of the overtaking manoeuvres were fairly ferocious. He gave Waldman absolutely no chance. He definitely gave him the treatment. Just looking at the results to see that the young Spaniard Carlos Jaro, we just saw there, coming at home in 10th place, so that's a good ride from him. And well, our congratulations to Bruno Casanova. Let me just repeat the top 10. Casanova the winner, then Grassini, Waldman, Debbia, Gianola, Rowdies, Gramini, Kurfis, Wakai and Gyro. And at the top of the table then, there it's confirmation. Waldman, Casanova, Gianola and Grassini level pegging on 3rd, Gramini 5th and Rowdies next. So, great 125 race and more Hockenheim action to come. This is Hockenheim, the West German Grand Prix, a 500cc race, round 7 of the 1992 World Championship. And the question once again being asked here is who can stop Michael Doohan, the 26-year-old Australian who leads the title chase, is in pole position once again for this event. in tremendous form in practice. Pole position at 1:58.325. Second fastest Wayne Rainey at 1:59.73. That's almost a second and a half slower than Doohan. Third quickest Kevin Schwantz on the Lucky Strike Suzuki, and fourth best John Kaczynski. And there was more bad news for Wayne Rainey in practice because he crashed. He had a big high side in the stadium area and broke a little finger, is battered and bruised, not feeling too well at all. So Rainey, a second and a half slower than Doohan, in trouble. Row 2, Chandler, Gardner, Barras and Lawson. Row 3, Garriga, Clavia, Neil McKenzie and Randy Mamola. And Mamola, a non-starter. He took a tumble in the warm-up this morning, and although he's not badly hurt, he will not be fit enough to ride in this 18-lap race. Well, Doohan shattered the lap record set by Kevin Schwantz last year, and away they go. A great start by Kaczynski, number 4, John Kaczynski, an excellent start. Doohan right behind him, Schwantz away well, so a fine start by John Kaczynski, the 24-year-old member of the Marlboro Team Roberts Yamaha squad. But Doohan goes ahead down the back straight towards the Earth curve and the first chicane. Kaczynski fights back. The two Kajivas there of Alexander Barras and Eddie Lawson. Lawson, you remember, had a tremendous start at Catalunya in Spain, and showed that the Kajiva is really a very competitive motorcycle. But look at this, Doohan already out in front. Schwantz, Kaczynski fighting for second place. Doug Chandler on the second Lucky Strike Suzuki in fourth spot. And Schwantz goes through into second spot to chase Michael Doohan. Now Schwantz has beaten Doohan once this year. Schwantz the winner at Mugello, and talking to Kevin last week, he said that if he'd not been able to get past Eddie Lawson a bit quicker, he might have had a go at Catalunya as well. Wayne Gardner has gone very well in practice, hobbling around in the paddock, but still quick enough to go 6th quickest on the practice leaderboard. There's number 5. You can see Gardner on the Rothmans Kanemoto Honda. Doohan lead from Schwantz. Then Kaczynski and Doug Chandler. Then Wayne Gardner going well into the stadium, and the Sachs curve for the first time. The two Kajivas of Barros and Lawson qualifying 7th and 8th. So Doohan over the line to complete the first lap. Chandler still pushing Kaczynski. Then it's Rainey, then it's Gardner. And Chandler still having a go, trying to come back. So the end of the first lap, that's the order, and 3.5 seconds separating the top 6. There goes Doug Chandler. Is trying a new engine, we're told, in the Lucky Strike machine today. Lucky Strike Suzuki wheeled out a new engine with a few more RPM. This really is a very quick circuit. The fastest lap is it's 126.733. That's the lap record held by Kevin Schwantz. That really is very quick indeed. 26 miles an hour. So Doohan with Schwantz closing the gap, and a gaggle of riders behind, with Kaczynski holding off Doug Chandler at the moment. Well, Doohan is beatable, and the Rothmans Honda getting a little bit squirrely. The Honda put together by Jeremy Burgess and his crew has served Doohan well this year. And here comes this group behind with Kaczynski, Chandler, then Rainey, then Gardner, then the young Spaniard Alex Crevilla, then Juan Garriga just behind him. So Crevilla and Garriga, and Crevilla's got ahead of Rainey now, got ahead of Gardner now, and he's pushing Wayne Rainey. Rainey, as we said earlier, far from fit. Not feeling too good at all, and the fireworks explode. There goes the two Banco Castrol Yamaha machines with Neil Mackenzie ahead of his teammate Miguel de Hamel. He's qualifying in 11th place. So another lap about to go in the books. Schwantz closing on him. So can Schwantz inflict another defeat on Doohan? Was happy enough after practice, Schwantz was. Kaczynski is third, then Chandler. Then it's Rainey, then Crivier, number 28. Then number 5 is Gardner. Then number 6 is Barros. That's the gap between first and second. With Doohan, the 26-year-old Australian from Surfers Paradise near Brisbane. Then Kaczynski, Chandler. Eddie Lawson at the back of that group, and it really is a good battle. Here they come again. Crivier, having got ahead of Gardner's now got ahead of Rainey and is looking for a way past Doug Chandler. So Crivier now up into 4th place, and a real charge by the very talented young Spaniard who was only 10th in practice. So Crivier going well, looking to blast the Kamsa Honda, and here goes Chandler elbowing Rainey out of the way. So spurred into life by the arrival of the young Spaniard, and he really is giving the Kamsa Honda some stick. Up into 3rd place goes Crivier, then qualified in 10th place, started off the 3rd row of the grid, and he's going well. Crivier, Chandler goes in the inside and regains, or doesn't really take 3rd place because he was behind Kaczynski. So Chandler now up into 3rd spot. Crivier pushed back to 4th. Kaczynski is 5th. Then it's Wayne Rainey in 7th place. No real threat. Rainey, who has crashed now altogether 3 times in, well, he's crashed twice in races and twice in practice sessions this year. For him, really, is a remarkable performance. He normally is so consistent and so safe. It really is testimony to the fact that Doohan is going so well. I suspect. Look at this gaggle behind. And there at the tail end of it, number 19, Neil Mackenzie. Mackenzie trying to get on terms with these people, can be towed along with them. Doohan leads, once behind. And, well, Doohan riding so well. That's Honda just complaining all the time of the treatment going in and coming out of the chicane. And Doohan just shrugs it off. There was a moment when he looked as though Schwantz was closing, but that's not the case anymore. If anything, Doohan is opening the gap. There is Doohan, there is Schwantz. And the camera lens, I think, just shortening the actual gap. Let me see there a little bit better. Sort of 2.5 seconds down the gap. Oh, look at that, Doohan just wheeling out of the corner, and I think we've got an incident here. Somebody going down very hard indeed. Oh, and it's Neil Mackenzie off the bike and slamming through the score bales. Well, that really was very sad, and we've got the on-bike camera, which presumably is on Neil's bike, on the charge going into the chicane. And we're going to see what the incident was like. Neil trying desperately to close the gap on those people behind. Oh, in big trouble there. He was in trouble going in, and down he went and slid across the track. Well, he actually went through the chicane, and there's Neil. Well, he's obviously conscious. He's got the first aid, he's got the doctor there with him. We'll obviously try and find out as soon as we can what injuries. Nasty looking crash for Neil Mackenzie. Very sad indeed. So there is the race leader back with the race action live. Doohan out in front. Caution flagged at the chicane as they try and sort out the incident that saw the departure of poor old Neil Mackenzie on the Banco Castrol Yamaha out of the race, leaving Miguel de Hamel, the sole rider out there. Fastest lap, 1:58.956, well inside the lap record, not as quick as he went in practice, but Doohan is remarkable. just to confirm that they are using the old classic circuit here at Hockenheim with the standard chicanes in. They tried to introduce some priority chicanes and met with a lot of protest when they tried it. I think that they tried it during the World Superbike race here at Hockenheim a little earlier this year, and also at the Urta test this year, and that, coupled with the fact that I'm not sure the circuit was homologated for the new shape, means that they are racing on the traditional track, which has created problems for one or two of the tyre people. I know Michelin was caught out. They'd been rushed away after the Urta test to produce tyres to cope with the new track, and all to no avail. Back with the battle for third place. This is Chandler under pressure from Crevere, and they're ganging up a swarm of them behind this pair. Third and fourth, Crevere, there he is, number 28, qualified 10th fastest, 22-year-old rider from Barcelona in Spain, managed by Cito Pons. Well, Neil McKenzie, you can see at one of the boot is off his right foot. He's being given a fireman's lift by the doctor to the ambulance. So off, I suspect, to Dr. Costa's mobile clinic to get an x-ray and see what's wrong. Well, here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8 riders in the group. Chandler in third place at the front. Number 6 is Juan Garriga at the back. So it's Chandler, then Crevere, then number 1, Wayne Rainey, and Crevere has another go. And it's number 12, Barros there. Number 4, Kaczynski. 5 is Gardner. Then number 7 is Lawson, and a little bit further back, struggling with Juan Garriga. Chandler, having lost third place, winds up the wick on the new engine on the Lucky Strike Suzuki, and they're probably right, it has got the motor, although it was on the best line, and that certainly does help. Chandler, Crevere, third and fourth. Rainey, then Barras and Rainey having a go, trying to get past out of the slipstream for the second time. 3 abreast. Rainey, Crevere and Chandler, and it was Chandler who came out on top going into the chicane, and well, this young man proved himself on 125. That's Crevere, proved himself on 125, did well on the 250s, but boy oh boy, he is the new talent in the 500cc World Championship, and the man who's just slotted in behind him, number 12, is no mug either. That's 22-year-old Alexandra Barros, the Brazilian. And Barros, who's been over here now something like 6 years. He came over when he was 16, and when sitting in press rooms around the world having lengthy telephone conversations to his family and girlfriend back home in Paris, much to the displeasure of his manager, because the manager had to pay for the cost of the calls. They were not cheap. But Barros is learning his trade well. There's a gap, 4.42 seconds between Doohan and Schwantz. Kevin, always a fighter, he won't give up. He's assured me he's going to win at least one more Grand Prix before the season's out. And I believe the man from Texas. So, Doohan leading. 6 laps to go. Join us again after the break to see whether he can stay out in front.
Above all, our new car has to be roomy.
But also nice and powerful.
And economical, right, darling?
Comfortable.
With room for the whole family.
Still affordable.
That's what the car exists.
The applause from Daihatsu, Japan.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better. And better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before. And cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
The new camcorder from Panasonic has more muscle than others. A 16 times digital zoom, a hi-fi stereo microphone, the super VHSC system, and a digital image stabilizer. And all of this weighs only 800 grams. The S7, new from Panasonic.
Welcome back, and still the gap. There's the 7th to 12th places on the leaderboard. Kaczynski 7th, then Gardner, Lawson, Garriga. Peter Goddard back in action. That's good to see. The Australian who missed a couple of races through injury. And there's Schwann. Yellow patches on the Lucky Strike leathers. Bit of a colour clash there, I'd say, Kevin. Back to the old leathers designer. Doohan with the more traditional blue and white of the Rothman team. Oh, Kevin trying very hard indeed, and people who are trying hard, they pull out of the slipstream, and well, 4 young men who are making a name in the Grand Prix there. Chandler in 3rd spot. Behind him is Barros. Then it's Crevilla, and then completing that little quartet who head a much bigger group is number 4, Kaczynski, Wayne Gardner, brave ride, then Lawson, then Rainey dropping back. I don't think Wayne Rainey is fully fit at all after that very high-speed tumble in practice on Saturday. Went down very hard indeed, and Rainey dropping back all the time, lost the place to Lawson. So Chandler, 3rd, Barros, 4th, Sevilla 5th, Kaczynski 6th, Gardner 7th, Lawson 8th, Rainey in 9th place, and Van Garriga in 10th place. 11 laps to go in this 18-lap race to the checkered flag, and this definitely the race within the race. Bit of a bore out in front at the moment with Doohan running away, and here comes Trevia, picking his way nicely through to go up into 3rd spot. Once again, he's been there before. Chandler behind, then Barros, then Kaczynski, Gardner, Lawson, Rainey. And another shuffle, no. Trevia hangs on, and Barros this time goes ahead of Doug Chandler, Kaczynski and Gardner. And Gardner doing well in practice. Very impressive performance, 6th fastest. And here comes Barros. Will he go through to 3rd place? 2 young guys from the Latin countries. South American, Alexander Barros, a 22-year-old Brazilian, now up into 3rd place ahead of the young Spaniard Trevia. And Kaczynski now wants to push Doug Chandler back another place. He won't have it. Big wide sweep as they come into the stadium for Barros. Trevia pops a wheelie. Closers look for the inside line, but Barros is there, and Chandler holds off the attack from Kaczynski. There's Gardner and Lawson breathing down their neck, and Rainey at the rear of that group and out of it. He'll want to keep going if he can, because points are valuable. I think he must have given the hope of winning the title. 110 points for Doohan, 65 for Rainey, 62 for Kevin Schwann. Michael Rudruff, one of the characters, one of the Germans who, like so many of the privateers, have bought either the Harris Performance products or the Serge Rosset ROC Yamahas, and well, beginning to get to grips with it. Not easy bikes to ride. Rudruff qualified 21st, just ahead of Kevin Mitchell. Simon Buckmaster qualified 24th, Peter Graves 30th, and the Ulsterman Eddie Laycock was 19th fastest. And I think our German director is taking the opportunity to give Rudruff a bit of a run for his money. But there's Eddie Laycock just ahead of him. Eddie does double in on the Joe Miller Racing Yamaha. Number 11, Michael Rudruff, number 18. Back with the race leader. That little battle was for 15th and 16th place, as I'm told, by the lap scorer. Michael Doohan, though, his battle is really against himself and the elements and luck, because once again he's played the opposition into the weeds. Kevin Swan, the fight has begun to evaporate, and well, quite an enormous lead now. And Kevin, there we go, nearly 9 seconds the gap has stretched to. And Kevin, as a fighter, he won't have given up. And here we are with the real fight in the race. And look at that, Chandler's lost another place. So it's Kaczynski, would you believe, at the front of this group. Then Barros, then Crevier. Crevier pulls out of the slipstream, passes Barros. Gardner's mixing it, and would you believe this man broke his leg badly back in March, the end of March. And Wayne Gardner came back defying the medical expert. Took a nasty tumble in practice at Mugello, and he has to use a cane to walk around. But Gardner's there with these youngsters and going through, having a... Oh, dear, dear, dear. Wayne just giving Barros the treatment. That was very forceful stuff. And at the front of the group, Kaczynski and Crevier have a go. Gardner, then Barros, then Lawson, then Chandler. Behind Chandler is Wayne Rainey, and then at the rear of the group still Juan Garriga on the Ducados Yamaha. Well, Kaczynski, who said at the beginning of the year that his aim was to be on the podium. Oh, dear, incredible. Just pops a wheelie, the front wheel goes sideways, and he just calmly straightens it up. Kaczynski's aim, as I said, was to be in the top 3. He's not managed to achieve that yet. Been on the podium just once out of 6 occasions, but he might be able to do it again. Got to cope with that little group behind, and there's some talented men on some quick motorcycles. And again, Kaczynski just pops a wheelie, comes through the S's there in the stadium section. And Garriga, who was quite a long way back, has now closed the gap between himself and Wayne Rainey. There's Swan in second spot. Not sure I like those yellow patches, Kevin. That's probably bringing in multi-million dollars in sponsorship. Swan then in second place. And you can see he's trying hard back with this group, and Gardner and Barros having a go. Gardner will not give him an inch. He's all over the track. Well, Wayne Gardner doesn't want to crash, but he's quite prepared to bash fairings and just show these youngsters what it's all about. And Garriga now has got ahead of Rainey, who has dropped a long way back, and I'm not sure that Wayne Rainey will keep going for much longer. He must be in a lot of pain. He broke a little finger in that crash. Chandler now is at the rear of the close group, and then Rainey a fair way back from him. There is Crevier, who's got ahead of Kaczynski. Gardner is on the prowl. Crevier third, Kaczynski fourth, Gardner, then Barros and Lawson, then Chandler. Well, Kaczynski was able to hold off Crevier. Will he have a go to pull it back? In on the tank. Chasing hard. Crevier is really a revelation, though. He's such a talented young man. Tito Pons certainly did the right thing by electing to quit as a rider and to run his own team. And Gardner, who'd been passed by Barros, just waited for the youngster to run wide, just swept majestically past. Tough as old boots is Wayne Gardner. 32 years of age now, still living in Monaco, and he was back home in Monaco at the time of the Monaco Grand Prix. And although he lives only about 50 metres from the circuit, he tells me he watched it on TV. Get a better view there. He said 7 laps to go to the checkered flag. And Crevia still leads this high-speed convoy. And Gardner knows all about the slipstream. Look at him moving around. And behind him, the two Kajivas of Lawson and Barros. And here comes Kosinski having a go at Crevia. Honda versus Yamaha. The Kamsa Honda versus the Marlboro Team Robertson. Here comes Rainey. I'm not surprised. I don't think he's feeling too well. He went down very hard indeed. 100 mile an hour spill, and it was a hard spill. He was high-sided off. And I think Wayne decided this. Kenny Roberts to the left of the picture, Trevor Tilbury, the South African mechanic, into the pits. Oh, there. And, well, that picture tells it all. Wayne Rainey just stumbles off the bike, and he's a brave man to have gone out, should I say. So, there's the race leader, Michael Doohan. Doesn't have too fond a memory of this place. Not all the teams came to the Earth to test a little while ago, but Rothman did, and Doohan went down, crashed during the practice test session here, and he doesn't crash very often. So Doohan leads, and leads magnificently. Record-breaking performance in practice, record-breaking performance in the race, destroying the opposition. And, well, a little bit further down the leaderboard, stepped off Flern. I think Peter Graves having a bit of a ding-dong. Was indeed. And Doppler number 25, number 30, Peter Graves. Well, normally I have the misfortune of seeing Peter Graves on his ear because he's had some bad luck in the last few rounds, but there's a difference between the private Yamaha and the factory Honda. And what's the difference? 30 miles an hour? Something like that, perhaps. And of course, difference in the ability of the men who ride the machine to be fair and honest as well. So that's the order after 12 laps. Doohan leads, Schwantz, Sevilla, Chandler, Kosinski and Gardner. Can anybody stop Doohan? Join us again after the break.
A name appears. A story unfolds. And not for the first time, it writes itself a new chapter in office technology. Suddenly, everything is crystal clear. Because the name is Star. Star, the computer printer.
Technics cares for the Earth's environment. Take our portable CD player. It uses very little energy, so you can enjoy 10 hours of high-quality sound. The Technics portable CD player. The CD player that loves the Earth the most.
Welcome back to Hockenheim. Doohan then still out in front, and again about to swoop on one of the tail enders. That's Lucio Pedicini, this young Italian on the pattern. Not exactly the most competitive of motorcycles, unfortunately. But the young Italian, still in his teens, I think, still in very early 20s. If not in his teens, has been trying hard. Kees Skorakers, the Dutchman. Back with the race leader. Well, Doohan out at his own, riding superbly. Pedestini and the distance behind him, having been lapped, of course. And back then with the best race of the 500cc class. And there they are in all their glory. And 3, 6, 7 riders with Kaczynski at the front, and Chandler having fought his way back into the frame in 5th place, then Clavier, then Lawson, then Gardner, then Barros, and then Garriga. Obviously a lot of rivalry. 30.5 seconds the gap between first and third. There goes Chandler, winds up the wick on the Suzuki. Clavier goes with him. Kaczynski was caught a little bit on the hop, and Chandler goes through to 3rd place, Clavier 4th, then Kaczynski, then Lawson, then Gardner. Well, suddenly John Kaczynski was beginning to nod off, losing concentration, and Chandler saw that the pace had slackened, and he grabbed a handful on the Lucky Strike Suzuki. Clavier was ready to go with him, and well, Gardner's tagged right on the end of them. I must confess, if I'd broken my leg as badly as he has, and it was as sore as it is now, I wouldn't want to be mixing it, but Gardner's a better man than me, of that there's no doubt. 4 abreast they go, and Kaczynski regains the place. Well, that time it was Chandler that was just a fraction too slow going into the chicane. You've got to get it absolutely right. Garriga, a sort of lost soul at the back. He's not really in contact with this group now. And Chandler comes back. And look at Gardner. Gardner having a go, and he gets the better of Lawson as they go into the stadium, into the packed grandstands. And there's the teammate to Neil Mackenzie, number 17. That is Miguel de Hamel, the son, of course, of the splendid and hard-riding Wanda Hamel, who was such a star in the 70s on the Kawasaki's, amongst other things. Now, there's an interesting sight. This must be the rear-facing camera on Miguel de Hamel's motorcycle. Well, that puts an interesting perspective to it all. Through the infield section, the stadium, past the pit. Well, here we go again. Gardner, Doohan charging and passing more slower guys. That was Kees Doorackers. The Dutchman, 29-year-old Dutchman, on one of the Harris Performance products, Yamahas. And an action replay of Doohan. Just drifting the motorcycle, wheeling it out while he is enjoying himself, and he's quick. That really was remarkable footage, going very, very well indeed. So, 3 laps to go to the checkered flag, and Doohan just now really got to hope that the motorcycle keeps going. Doorackers and Nigel Schmachman having been lapped down in 20th and 21st place, that pair at the moment. Doohan then has got to do 3 laps at just over 12 miles, or just over 13 in fact. The gap, 18.433 seconds between Doohan and Kevin Swans. Swans has ridden very well indeed. You can ask for a little more of this man, and with Rainey having dropped out, and Swans can finish, and he has been known to have lapses of concentration in the closing stages of some races, and put him out of races. This little battle, though, looks as if it's going to go all the way to the checkered flag. I was saying that Swanson will move into second place, I think, in the points table, provided he doesn't dump it or blow the motorcycle up. Now look at Gardner, he really is riding well. You wouldn't know that he was far from fully fit, and Gardner now is up into fourth place, and that really is an excellent ride, and you wouldn't really want to put money that he's not going to be finishing third place. 33 seconds, the gap between first and third. Kaczynski about to be filling in the sandwich between Krivia and Gardner. Krivia goes third, Gardner is fourth, Kaczynski goes back to fifth, and John Kaczynski, the man who moved from Little Rock, Arkansas, to live in California near Kenny Roberts and learn all about riding road racing motorcycles, is battling wheel to wheel with Krivia and Gardner goes through to third. Well, Wayne Gardner, you can never write him off. 32 years of age, and he really is a hard man. Quite an interesting contrast in many ways between himself and teammate Michael Doohan. Wayne has worked very hard to make motorcycle racing popular in Australia. Doohan is not the most cooperative of souls, perhaps one might say, with the media. And certainly Wayne, despite not getting the results, is still very much a cult figure in Australia and in many other countries. And no doubt, of course, Doohan will fill that spot in the fullness of time. Well, some slower men out in front. So that's 25 Sepp Doppler, number 30 Peter Graves, about to get the treatment from Wayne Gardner and co. And here's Doohan, the race leader, and the laps counting down to the checkered flag. Doohan, Schwantz, Gardner, Krivia, Kaczynski, Lawson sixth. Well, the old men doing well. Third and sixth there, Gardner and Lawson. The over 30s doing the business. And Doohan, see the weight transferring from the back to the front of the motorcycle, going into this almost 180 degree corner, maybe even slightly more than 180 degrees. It comes sharp back on itself. Then the little S's section before the two right-handers that lead on to the start and finish straight. And Doohan starts his final lap, and he really is riding very well indeed. Simon Buckmaster just ahead of him, and Simon going well at the moment. Simon down in 17th place, just ahead of him, Eddie Laycock and Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Schwantz, who lies second at the moment. And, well, the gap stretching all the time. Schwantz had no answer today to the power of Doohan and the Rothmans Honda, prepared by Jeremy Burgess. A bit of an incident we're about to see here. Serge David, number 27. Whoop. Well, oops, dear, dear, dear. Oh, the pain. And Serge David, just the young Swiss rider, dumps the Rock Yamaha. The back end just stepped out, and he tried to correct it, and then in the end, it high-sided him. Seems to be okay, I'm delighted to say. News of the injury to Neil Mackenzie is that he has an ankle injury that requires some x-ray, and it may be broken, it may just be sprained. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for Neil as Simon Buckmaster gets lapped by Michael Doohan going into the stadium for the final time. Well, that could save Simon doing one more lap. Oh, Doohan getting just a bit crossed up on that particular section there, but he won't make any mistakes in the run-in to the checkered flag. A big crowd, the fireworks will explode round the final corner, and a bit of a wheelie there. Come on, another one, and Doohan celebrates. Another win, his 5th in 7 races, and that really is very, very impressive stuff. Kevin Schwantz, and he's got his followers and supporters too, and why not? He's a great rider and a fine chap to boot. So Schwantz, and here they come, and is Gardner going to do it? It's Gardner ahead of Crevia, and he's going to do it. He's going to hang on, and Wayne Gardner is third. Well, what a remarkable performance for a man who needs a stick to walk around the paddock. Well, good news for Rothmans, first and third, but really Michael Doohan, magnificent as he is, somewhat overshadowed by the bravery of Wayne Gardner, who finished third just ahead of Alex Crevia, John Kosinski. Eddie Lawson was sixth, Alexander Barros seventh, eighth over the line Doug Chandler, ninth Garriga, and 10th Peter Goddard. So it's now 53 points, the gap at the top. There's confirmation of the result. Schwantz 24 seconds behind Doohan. Gardner there confirmed in third place. Great ride, Wayne. Crevia fourth, good ride from him. Kosinski fifth, Lawson sixth. And Eddie Lawson again getting the Kajiva up there. Barros seventh, Chandler eighth, Garriga, Goddard, Duhamel, and Simon Buckmaster finishing there in 12th place, but I'm not sure that's absolutely right. My lap chart doesn't say that. I think Juan Lopez Meyer, in fact, is 12th. I think Simon is down in about 17th place. I make him behind Eddie Laycock and Kevin Mitchell. But nice to have you up on the caption anyway, Simon. There we go. Doohan taking the applause of the crowd. So Doohan now on 130 points, 53 clear of Kevin Schwantz, the new second place man. And there's Kevin and Doohan just performing, and Crevia says anything you lot can do, I can do as well. Third in the points then Rainey, who didn't score today. That's the third occasion this year. We're going to see this replay of that lovely moment, just drifting the bike through the entrance to the chicane, picking the bike up, and the front wheel, which is just skipping on the ground anyway. It just controlled pace. So good. There's Schwantz, and well, our hats off to them, but in particular to Wayne Gardner. Big reaction from the crowd, fireworks exploding everywhere, and another 500cc race in the book, the 7th of the season. We've got 6 more to go, including of course the British one at Donington on August the 2nd. Chance perhaps for you to get your request in for advance tickets to save yourself a bob or two. That of course will be the race but 3 from the end of the series. We've got the Dutch, the Hungarian, the French, the British, Brazilian, and the South African. And well, Doohan then notching another win, his 5th of the year. Schwantz finishing 2nd, then Gardner, Crevia, Kosinski, Lawson, Barros, Chandler, Garriga, and Goddard. And our thoughts with Neil Mackenzie. Again, more misfortune for the very likeable Scotsman. We hope that it's just a sprained ankle, not a broken ankle. The next round, the Dutch TT, on Saturday, June the 27th. So there we are, Doohan on the top of the points table, 53, clear of Kevin Schwantz. Rainey 3rd, Chandler 4th, Kosinski 5th, Crevia 6th. Bye-bye for now.
Your personal identification number, accepted in thousands of Eurocheck cash dispensers all over Europe. Local currency, day and night. Your own card, your own code.
possibly be easier? The Eurocheck card. Cash at your fingertips throughout Europe.
Durante las semanas siguientes controlé con exactitud todo su movimiento. Me dejó impresionado la profesionalidad con que trabajaba.
Unlimited performance.
This is Hockenheim. This is the 250cc race, round 7 of the 1992 World Championship. And after practice, once again, that remarkable little Italian, Max Biaggi, number 29, in pole position on the grid for the second Grand Prix in a row. This is just his first full season of Grand Prix racing. Second fastest, number 13, Loris Reggiani. Number 2, Helmut Bradl. The German on the HB Honda is third quickest despite 3 crashes. And completing the front row of the grid, Pier Francesco Chili, the teammate to Biaggi in the Telcor Valencia Aprilia squad. Row 2, Cadalora, Caparossi, Wakai, Lovato. 3, Torontegui, Shimizu, Schmidt and Pooch, and away they go. A good start from Killer, but an even better one from Biaggi. He was in pole position, which was on the inside of the track, and he just rocketed through to the front. And Telcor Valencia Aprilias are in front, and in third place, number 13, Loris Reggiani. Well, that's a good start for the 2 Aprilias, and the 3 Aprilias, in fact, because there's Reggiani, Cadalora number 1, going well up there. Alberto Puig making a good start into the first chicane. And Cadalora loses 4th place. It's Biaggi, then Reggiani, then Chili, then I think it's Puig, I'm not quite sure, ahead of Cadalora. And the charge is on round the Ost curve. Very high-speed track. Lap record to Bradl at 2:06.725. He went, Biaggi went 2:06.030, and well, not a year ago, this man was in fact riding European Championship races here at Hockenheim. Well, Reggiani leads, and Kelly goes second. Biaggi pushed back to third. Whoa, dear, dear, dear. That was Shimizu number 5, just literally barging his way past Bradl. Cadalora up there as well, I saw. And I think Puig, there he is, number 16. That was him ahead of Cadalora at the starting point. Somebody touring right at the back of the field. And Kelly hits the head of the pack for just a while. Reggiani regains the lead of Aprilia's first, second and third. And this wonderful start in what has been a great season for the Italian-made motorcycles. So Reggiani, the 32-year-old Italian, leads Pier Francesco Chili, the 27-year-old Italian. And then in third place, the man who set pole position, record-breaking run from 20-year-old Max Biaggi. What a wonderful talent Biaggi is. And then a gap. Then Shimizu ahead of Bradl. Shimizu qualified in 10th place. And the front 3 Aprilias just running clear. It's Shimizu, then Cadalora, then Bradl. Then it's Alberto Puig. Behind Puig is Torontegui on one of the 2 Lucky Strike Suzukis. And the second one being ridden here by Nobuyuki Wakai, replacing the injured Wilco Zeelenberg. You remember Zeelenberg going into orbit when he crashed on Shimizu's bike. There's Bradl, Cadalora, Shimizu, and 41, saw Wakai, 24-year-old Japanese rider, drafted into the Lucky Strike squad, as I say, to replace Zeelenberg. This is only his 2nd season of riding, and it's been quite a hard day for him because the regulations allow him to replace Zeelenberg, but he has to ride his 125 class as well. And Cadalora leading Bradl. Bradl hurt his hands in some crashes, and Biaggi at the head of the field. Biaggi has passed Reggiani and Kelly, and all 3 are behind. Well, that's the view from Biaggi, the rear bike camera, and that really does show what it's all about. Biaggi with that novel on-bike camera at the back. Here comes Killy. And Killy just can't quite get in, down through the gearbox. Just listen to the engine noise. Well, that's what it's like to lead the West German Grand Prix, the 250 race. Superb footage, and the noise, a nice little addition to that lovely on-bike camera work. Fastest lap to Biaggi. Ah, what a surprise. 2:07.835. Likes to be known as Max, so we'll be calling him Max from now on. And Max Biaggi, 20. Get back in, says Biaggi. Well, I don't think Killy will take an awful lot of notice to him. Remember that Biaggi just removed Killy's front wheel in the closing stage of the Italian Grand Prix. They are teammates, and I know that Killy's calmed down a lot, but I don't think he was a 20-year-old youngster in his first season of racing at Grand Prix, full season of racing at Grand Prix level, telling him that they should stay in single file and pull clear of this bunch. Bradl and Cadalora side by side. Cadalora holds fourth place. Bradl is fifth. Shimizu leaning off the Hero Sports Honda. Dramatic photos there. Then Alberto Puig. Then Loris Capirossi, the 19-year-old Italian. Number 6, just caught a glimpse of him. That's 2. Helmut Bradl. The rear tyre just pattering on the brakes as they go into the chicane. And Bradl trying very hard indeed. They've got to try and peg this little bunch back. And behind Capirossi is number 11, and that's Andy Preining. Well, good to see Andy Preining, a veteran character from Austria. Used to be a star of the European Championship. And Andy now at Grand Prix level. This is his best run all season. There's Bradl. Trying very hard to stay with Cadalora. The points table at the moment, Cadalora on 110 ahead of Reggiani, who has 58. Bradl is on 57. Oh, and that's Bradl going down again. Bradl out of the race, his 4th crash of the weekend. And I think he's damaged the bottom part of his hand. That's what he hurt before. And Bradl is out. So he's not going to add to any points today. And the German has had a disaster of a weekend. Well, Bradl out of the race, chasing Cadalora. Oh, there's the back end going round. Oh, no chance. Tried to correct it, and then it just flicked him over the top. And, well, he was lucky that the bike didn't bounce on him, to be honest. It caught him up a little bit. Whoop. Well, that could have been a lot worse. We're going to see it again from the front angle. Just the back end, the tyre, rear tyre had gone. He tried to save. You see the black line, and down he went ahead of the motorcycle. And this is always a nasty moment for any rider. The bike bouncing on his leg, but it fortunately picked it up, and I think he actually pushed the bike away. Well, certain amount of good fortune there, but obviously an unlucky man to have lost control of the bike there. There's Bradl, and the German director, understandably, just milking this situation for what it's worth. Bradl is out of it, and I think he'll be lucky to keep second place in the championship. He was runner-up last year, of course. The 3 Aprilias, though, having no problems whatsoever into the stadium again. Out in front is Killy. Then it's Loris Reggiani. Then the youngster, Biaggi, back in 3rd spot. And the Aprilias going well. They were 1st, 2nd and 4th in practice. Bradl was the only man to beat them. He finished third on the practice leaderboard. Ooh, dear! That's a nasty tumble coming out of the chicane, and that's Paolo Caselli, but I think there were two riders involved, and well, the bike still sliding down the track at a fair old rate of knots. It's always a bit of a worry, because that's when the bike, Caselli being thrown around. Obviously he's still going at quite a rate. Well, two dramatic crashes. Bradl on his feet, and I think Caselli's going to be all right. And there goes Killy ahead of Reggiani once again, having lost the lead momentarily. Killy comes back, shrugs off the ill-handling problems of the Aprilia. So Killy leads from Reggiani and Biaggi. And these three men have destroyed the opposition. Well, who would have thought that a tiny little factory like Aprilia could produce motorcycles that on sheer pace alone would blow off the might of Honda. There's Cadalora in the background, and of Yamaha. Cadalora in fourth place, not able to stick with them, didn't stick with them in practice, was almost 2 seconds a lap slower than Biaggi in practice. But Cadalora, of course, is not out to win every battle. His aim is to win the war, and he's certainly doing that in a big way. And I think that's Caselli just walking down the side of the track there, so he is okay after that rather spectacular tumble. Into the stadium they go again. Killy out in front. There's Bradl. Don't think he really wants to talk to anyone quite at the moment. I think if you asked him how he was, he'd probably get a smack in the mouth. And we see into the pit. So, bad day for HB, great day for Aprilia though. Here they are, out in front. Killy in first place, Biaggi in third spot on the Calco Valesi Aprilias, and Loris Reggiani on the Unlimited Jeans Aprilia. There's Cadalora in fourth place, then Shimizu, then Andy Preining, and that's how they lie after 5 laps. Join us again after the break to see how this battle goes.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better, and better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before, and cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Technics cares for the Earth's environment. Take our portable CD player. It uses very little energy, so you can enjoy 10 hours of high-quality sound. The Technics portable CD player. The CD player that loves the Earth the most.
Mohamed Gamoudi of Tunisia collects 3 hard-won medals in 3 Olympics. But in the thin air of Mexico City, he runs the race of his life. It is the torturous 5,000 meters. He is sure that his intense training in the rugged Pyrenees Mountains of France will gain him the gold. But Kip Keino, the peerless runner from the high country of Kenya, is also certain of victory. Down the backstretch, Keino begins his irresistible surge, but Gamoudi inches ahead and climbs the ultimate peak, Olympic victory. Mohamed Gamoudi, Olympic champion.
Welcome back then to Hockenheim, this 250cc race still very much on the ball. The front three men on the Aprilias out in front. Reggiani, Killy, Biaggi in any order you like, because they keep chopping and changing. Cadalora still there in fourth place, trying so hard to close the gap on the leading trio. Further back, the rest of the opposition, including Shimizu, tries to stay in contact with Cadalora. Andy Prining in that little trio as well. There is Andy. Getting on a bit now, I think about 32. Ahead of Shimizu, number 5, and number 16, Alberto Puig. Alberto Puig, of course, on the Ducati CC Sports Aprilia, based in Holland, run by Jan Hubert and co. Alberto from Barcelona. And there's number 11, Andy Prining, ahead of that group. That's the order then. After 8 laps, Killy, Reggiani, Biaggi, then about an 8-second gap, and then Cadalora, Prining, and Shimizu. Behind Shimizu is Alberto Puig. Cadalora certainly trying. Just watch. Oh dear, dear, dear. Well, Cadalora just could not come through that chicane much quicker without falling off. He really is trying so hard to pull back the Aprilias, but the Honda, and it's a new Honda for this year, on this circuit at any rate, is outpaced by the Italian, the European-made Aprilias. Killy with half a length machine advantage over Loris Reggiani, the new boy on the block, the new kid on the block. Biaggi there in third place, and he's shown already this year that he's quite prepared to get stuck in and do things. He's had 2 third places in Italy and in Spain. Now there's a good battle going on behind. Number 8, Jochen Schmidt on the Mitsui Yamaha. Number 6, 19-year-old Loris Reggiani, the reigning 125 world champion, now trying his hand in the 250 class with the Marlboro Tintelleri Honda. And at number 41, that is Wakai riding the Lucky Strike Suzuki, and I think he's already got ahead of Heri Torantegui, number 28, his Spanish teammate. Schmidt and Wakai have been chasing Caparossi. Well, they've caught him, they've passed him now. And news in that Stefan Prine took quite a nasty tumble. Prine, another one of the HB brigade. So with Bravo out and Prine crashing, an expensive and painful and non-productive day for the HB squad in this 250 race. Caparossi doesn't have the full factory kit on his Honda. 7 laps to go to the checkered flag, and Caparossi and Wakai just grimly hanging on to Jochen Schmidt on the factory Yamaha. There's Torantegui on the second of the Lucky Strike Suzukis, and Caparossi looks as though he's got ahead of the German. The director appears to have just lost direction of the race. Back with the leaders. And, well, side by side, Reggiani and Killy. Biaggi being forced to follow. Killy, who's on the slightly better line for the chicane, takes the lead from Reggiani. And no sign yet. There he is, just coming into the chicane now, Cadalora. That's the gap. Shimizu is ahead now of Andy Prining, so Shimizu is in 5th place. Andy Prining and Alberto Puig are next, and then it'll be that battle between Caparossi, Schmidt and Wakai, with Torantegui completing what I make to be the top 10, but it could be 11. So there's the leaders. Tall, blonde-haired character, Pier Francesco Killy, lives near Bologna in Italy. Been around quite a time now. European champion. Was involved in that affair at the Italian Grand Prix Misano when the superstars went on strike. Killy, under pressure from all sorts of people, had to ride and got a lot of stick for it. Loris Reggiani then putting in the fastest lap of the race so far. And once again, he goes ahead of Killy, and will Biaggi have the pace? Here they come into the first chicane. And Killy using all the track, keeps up the momentum, hangs on to Reggiani's rear wheel. Biaggi tucked in there. The 20 really is a remarkable rider. It's going to go a long, long way of that, I'm sure. There's Shimizu in 5th place, Cadalora ahead of him. Then it's Andy Preining and Alberto Puig. There's Andy, number 11, Alberto Puig, the Spaniard, behind him. Yes, Andy Preining 31, in fact, 32 in December this year. And there's Shimizu chasing Cadalora. There's Preining trying to hold off the young Spaniard, Alberto Puig, on the Aprilia, number 16. And Preining, of course, on an Aprilia, so the Aprilia is very much a force to be reckoned with in this race. First, second and third, 6th and 7th, so not too bad. And Honda's in the picture, Cadalora and Shimizu, who are 4th and 5th. Back with the leaders, round the final corner, onto the pit straight. And both Killy and Reggiani look round to see whether Biaggi has disappeared. Don't know whether that's wishful thinking or not. No, let's be kind, perhaps they were just looking around to see whether another rider had joined the group. 5 laps to go to the checkered flag then. Killy leads, Reggiani pulls out of the slipstream. Biaggi is already not bothering to get in the slipstream, but as soon as Reggiani goes, Killy gets back behind Reggiani, and he in turn then tries to go for the slipstream effect and will lead going into the first chicane. It's an all Aprilia battle. Aprilia is just playing something wicked as they come out of the chicane. And there goes Reggiani around the outside of Killy. Well, it's going to be perhaps another breathtaking job. We've seen some fine finishers in races at Hockenheim over the years. Some quite dramatic stuff. After 11 laps in this 16-lap battle, it's Killy, Reggiani, Biaggi. Then 11 seconds back, Cadalora. Then Shimizu, Preining, Alberto Puig. Then Jochen Schmidt, Loris Capirossi. And Nobuyuki Wakai, giving the lucky strike that Wilco Zeelenberg should be riding a run. Behind Wakai is his teammate, Coven Tegui, the Spaniard. Well, Biaggi very much in the picture. He's not had a win yet. And Killy, of course, had a victory last year, I think at the Dutch TT, if memory serves me correctly. Reggiani had the win in Spain when he beat Radl, Shimizu and Cadalora. So, who's it going to be? Is it Biaggi going to notch his first win, or Reggiani and another one? Well, no, this is fairly desperate stuff. A little bit further back. Number 18, Harold Eckel. And Harold's been around a long time, getting stuck in. Patrick van der Voorberg. Number 21 is Bernard Hangeli. Number 19 is Cuzono. And number 24 is Adi Stadler. Well, they're having a fair old dust-up a little bit further down the field. Well out of the points, but that doesn't stop them enjoying this little dive. Eckel been passed by a couple of them. Well, they've been passed by 3 of them in effect. And Gelly, who's managed to unload it a couple of times this year. We leave that battle to concentrate on the scrap for the lead as it runs towards a climax. 2:06.853, 2:06.725, the lap record by Brazil. Will it go? So they're obviously running at record-breaking pace. They're not coasting out in front. There's Reggiani. And Killy heading the pack. Again, snatches a quick glance backwards to see where Reggiani and Biaggi are. Certainly Killy will not want to risk tangling with his teammate again. Into the stadium one more time, down through the gearbox for the Sachs curve. Long bend coming right back on itself, then going through this little S's section. Killy still setting the pace. Reggiani, Biaggi behind. And where is Cadalora? Well, out of it. And the slow motion run through of Reggiani. Well, the front wheel just twisting and shaking and complaining. Reggiani just not turning off the throttle at all. 3 laps to go to the checkered flag then. Into the Ust curve yet again. Through the first chicane. And Killy beginning to stretch a slight advantage. This is the biggest lead anyone's had in this race. And Reggiani and Biaggi will want to try and pull him back, because if you can get away, really it's difficult to pull people back. Killy tucked in behind the screen. And slow motion replay of Loris just pulling off one of the tear-off visors, flicking it over his shoulder, bit of a little out there. And Killy waves to Loris Reggiani. They are very good friends, Killy and Reggiani. I'm not quite sure what the relationship is at this stage of the season between Killy and his teammate Biaggi, although Killy is a very forgiving and understanding chap. Well, this could end up being a 1-lap race. It's down as a 16-lapper, but it could all depend on the final circuit. There's Cadalora going into the Sachs curve long after the leaders have gone past the pit. So the lead just stretching all the time. Cadalora riding well, but the Rothmans Kanemoto Honda on this occasion not able to match the pace of either the Unlimited Jeans Aprilia of Loris Reggiani or the Selco Valesi Aprilias of Biaggi and Killy. Cadalora comfortable 4th place though, and that will give him 10 points in the championship chase. So 2 laps to go. There's Cadalora, behind him Shimizu, and just one rider behind him. So whether we've lost Andy Preining, your guess is as good as mine, to be honest, at the moment. Cadalora, and he is the championship leader. And Biaggi now ahead of Reggiani. Cadalora, who's led the championship throughout, and this is what Reggiani is about to do. And Reggiani pulls out of the slipstream, but he can't get past the Selco Valesi Aprilia. Closes up this time, chin on the tank, again out of the slipstream, and this is going to be quite a finish. I really wouldn't like to pick out a winner from these three. They've all got claims to fame. Reggiani has already won a Grand Prix this year. Biaggi has never won a Grand Prix, but he's been on the podium at the last two. And Killy, although he has not been able to dominate the races, in fact the only time he's been on the podium was in Malaysia, he's had some miserable luck. This is the final circuit then. It's now or never, and Killy has got his nose in front, but that means nothing when you're slipstreaming down these long straights. Fastest lap to Loris Reggiani, 2:06.499, and that is a new lap record. 2:06.499 compared with Bradl's 2:06.724, and we're coming less than half a lap to go. It's Killy, Reggiani and Biaggi. Reggiani setting a new lap record, and look at those Aprilias shaking, just almost out of control as they come out of the chicane, and these three men just ignore them. Biaggi winding up for an attack. The 20-year-old youngster from Rome is going to have a go. Loris Reggiani just pushes him out of the way, takes up the bit of the track that he wanted, and we are in for just a few hundred yards now to the checkered flag. Biaggi goes one side of the track, looking for the pace that will carry him through. He's level with Reggiani, and he's going to have a go at Killy, and Killy just leaves his brake into the last possible minute. Killy leads, just runs up the curb, and Biaggi was going to be quick and almost made a mistake, and here comes Reggiani. They're coming into the stadium very soon, underneath this bridge, and then it'll be the stadium section. Reggiani now trying to go through on the inside. It's a classic overtaking manoeuvre, can't do it. And Biaggi, it's Biaggi who's got to pressurise Killy. Has Reggiani got anything left in reserve? Killy leads, his teammate Biaggi in second place. Round the Sachs curve, Killy drifts wide. Biaggi, oh, Biaggi in big trouble. Can't Reggiani attacks now. One more corner to go. Biaggi almost thrown off the motorcycle. Reggiani wasn't close enough. Killy is going to win, and Biaggi takes second place. Reggiani is third, and that really is superb. So Killy notches his first win of the season. Here comes Cadalora, tail ender with him. Cadalora is going to take fourth place. So let's just confirm the result of the race. Killy, the winner. Biaggi, second home. Reggiani, third. Cadalora is fourth. Shimizu is fifth. Sixth will be Puig. Wakai is seventh. And Killy and Biaggi, well, they are friends after all. So Cadalora still out in the championship lead. That's the story from Hockenheim. Bye-bye till next time.
Motorcycling, the German Grand Prix was brought to you by Eurosport. Futura, the evolution.
No more messy dripping paintbrushes. Discover the
effects of the rabbit punch. Certainly went down. Let's see if we can have another look at what happened there. And there we are. Yes, certainly hit behind the head. And down he goes. And here in Glenn Pools' corner, they now know Pascal Moonen can be hurt. And indeed, he still looks shaken up. Well, he made a bright start, the 22-year-old from Kalin. But this man, the teenager, 20 till later on this month, is definitely coming on stronger and stronger. And just getting a little ticking off there as well from Jimmy Barletta, who's been busy in this contest, although I wouldn't put this one down as a dirty fight by any stretch of the imagination. Now then, round 4. And there's definitely a spring in the step of Glenn Pools at the moment. Got some applause, but watch closely, and Glenn Pools is taking an awful lot of these punches on his gloves and arms. Pascal Moonen not having a lot of success at the moment. And a bit of a tangle there. Glenn Pools going for the high kick. And Moonen saw it coming and just ducked underneath it. Pools is really coming on stronger and stronger as this fight is going. Moonen's fans in the crowd are trying to urge him on, but Pools is starting to take a bit of punishment, or rather Pools is starting to dish out some punishment here. Moonen looking just a little bit woozy. Few seconds of this 4th round then. Moonen's finishing it well, but Pools is coming back at him. And down goes Moonen again. He looks a very tired young man. This is trouble for Moonen. I wonder if the bell's going to come in time to save him. He is looking in some distress. And there is the bell. So, 4 rounds gone, 3 to go. And Glenn Pools is on course to win.
The second major. US Open Championship. Le Mans, the oldest and most prestigious motor race in the world, gets the green light. Saturday afternoon at 2:30, live on Screen Sport.
Screen Sport Monday. At 6, we tip off with highlights of Game 6 in the thrilling NBA Final Series between the Chicago Bulls and the Portland Trail Blazers. The exciting IndyCar World Series races in at 7:30 with the 5th event on this year's calendar, the Detroit Grand Prix from Belle Isle Park, Michigan. Monday night turns into Fight Night at 8:30 as we bring you some of the more memorable bouts in the best of US boxing. Settle back with us in Salzburg at 10 for a look back at the highlights from the weekend's closing stages of the Austrian Open Golf Championship. At 11, it's time for a bit of...
EM 92, jetzt in jedem Duplo und Hanuta das Bild eines Nationalspielers, auch zum Sammeln.
Imagine what would happen to Opel's exciting new Astra if it suddenly had the power of a 2-liter 16-valve engine. Imagine the change as the power takes over, as it gains a startling new shape. Imagine it taking possession of the streets, as its systems take full control. But this isn't a dream, it's a reality. Sincerely yours, Opel Astra.
Introducing...
And the Italians hit top speed with a dazzling display of attacking football. Austria's Hintermeyer. Socrates from Brazil. Didier Seif. Scotland's Neri. Boniek of Poland. This is football at its finest. Action replay. It's Mexico 86, and both sides of Diego Maradona hit the headline. It's Lineker. Brazil's Hockenheim. Laudrup from Denmark. And Salina. World-class action, world-class soccer. Action replay. Italia 90, and it's Matthaus from West Germany. Baggio. Hulit from European champions Holland. Ifo of Belgium. And Sheedy. Goals, goals, goals. Fantastic entertainment, a total package. You can order goals, goals, goals in all these European countries. Simply call the number shown. Goals, goals, goals. 3 official videos of the FIFA World Cup Finals. Over 500 goals in 4.5 hours of action-packed footage. Goals, goals, goals comes with a full money-back guarantee. Order your copy by phone now.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. Closer, safer, more comfortable. Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of Gillette.
Only one change in the Swedish team, with Martin Dahlin having been brought in for Kenneth Anderson. Not at all surprising. Dahlin came in and gave a little bit of spice to the side. There we are. Ravelli, Nielsen, Eriksson, Anderson. Bjorklund, I didn't think played all that well in the first game, but he's retained. Klaus Ingersson, Jonas Tern, Steven Schwartz. Ingersson, by the way, had a very good game. Wide, big blonde player, almost scored.
Round 5, scheduled for 7. And Pools is getting stronger and stronger. Down goes Moonen again for the third time. Up quickly again, but is getting another 8 count. He looked very, very tired at the end of the last round. Now, can Glenn Pools finish it off here? Well, Moonen launching an assault of his own. Certainly the crowd is very much behind him, the man from Helene, the hometown boy. But a lot of his work has been wasted. Pools has looked very sound defensively. And again, Moonen in trouble. These are desperate moments for Pascal Moonen. Coming back and landing an uppercut. And now he's turned the tables. Full marks for bravery. Hit it with the elbow there, I think. And the timeout called by Jimmy Barletta. Certainly looks as if an elbow is going in, and that is the signal. Pascal Moonen could be thrown out for this. Strictly against the rules, of course. They're letting him continue. He's very lucky, but I think and a good shot to the ribs has taken all the stuffing out of Moonen there. Moonen's punch resistance almost gone now. And the referee is saying it's over. Jimmy Barletta has seen enough, and significantly Pascal Moonen is not protesting. And it's Glenn Pools that has become the Dutch light heavyweight ISKA champion with a stoppage in round 5 of a very tired Pascal Moonen. Well, let's have a look and see if we can see the elbows going in. It was really the last throw of the dice for Moonen. Oh, no question about it. Very lucky that he wasn't disqualified right there. And again. And Jimmy Barletta has seen enough and administers a warning, and then immediately afterwards that left cross.